Alright, well, right now I am trekking through a bunch of soaking wet vegetation at the Obersalzberg. And when people think of like Berchtesgaden, the Obersalzberg, you know, they think of like the eagle's nest or the Hitler's Berghof. But what you may not take into account is that somebody had to build all of that. And all of those people who were embarking on that big construction project, well, they had to stay somewhere. So we're going to make our way up this hill and take a look at one of the work camps that held the laborers that built Hitler's Eagle's Nest. Now, one of the big assumptions that people have when they think about like labor, a labor force, you know, here in the Obersalzberg and Berchtesgaden, is that the Eagle's Nest and the Berghof and all that were constructed with slave labor. Now, the Nazis did use slave labor throughout the Reich. This was not one of those places, though. For this area, they wanted highly skilled craftsmen and laborers. So they brought in a bunch of Italian laborers and artisans and craftsmen to build, you know, these different lavish buildings. And where I am standing right now is where the Italian work camp would have been. And there's still some remnants of that camp here. Here in just a moment, I'm going to show some of the ruins of the Italian work camp here. But first, I wanted to show just where it is that we came from. That was one heck of a steep hill. And something else that I wanted to show is this. So on April 25th of 1945, pretty sure it was April 25th. Oh boy, we got some rain coming. The U.S. Had a bombing raid of this whole region. It was thought that, you know, Hitler was going to try and escape down here to the Berchtesgaden area and set up like a new command post where he was going to have, I guess you could say like a guerrilla war that he was going to continue. Well, this is one of the bomb craters from that raid. And looks like there are a few other craters down here as well. And I just noticed something. Oh man, I'm gonna slip and fall. This is all moss and stuff, and it's all wet, and it is slicker than greased owl poop up here. Looks like we have maybe some busted up pottery or ceramics down here. Or porcelain, I guess you could say. Yeah, take a look at that. Interesting. Huh. So I guess after the bombing, well, this was used as like a trash pit of sorts. Interesting. All right, so again, just making our way down through the woods here, and here is one of the foundations to one of these workers' houses. So these foundations, look, you see the other part of the foundation right here, would have had like wooden huts on top of them where the workers would have lived, and then would have commuted wherever they were supposed to be going on any given day to do work up here in this area. And it looks like, hang on a second. Boy, I'll tell you what, if we get through this video without old JD falling, it's going to be a good day. This is a tangled mess. But man, this is cool as heck. I love finding these old ruins and abandoned structures. Kind of hard to tell with all the vegetation that has grown up in here, but yeah, right here is another bomb crater. All right, making our way through this wetness to try and find a few more of these structures, and I just stepped like in a little swamp. My foot is completely soaked right now, but we need to just take a second and just appreciate how cool this place looks. This is something that is a little bit different for me. I mean, I grew up in the woods, but I don't know, this just looks different. It feels almost otherworldly, like some Ewok is about ready to jump out of the brush and poke me with his spear. But yeah, really like this area, minus the fact that I'm getting soaked. All right, looks like we have a few more structures up here, and holy smokes, got some big ones. Okay, interesting. Now I'm going to go ahead and confess ignorance here. I don't know what I'm looking at, but this certainly looks to be like some sort of central structure or something important. I'll make sure there ain't no German meth head hanging out in there. Okay, looks good. So I don't know, this looks like a pretty big space. Maybe we are looking at a dining hall and kitchen area. Here, make sure I don't fall in this thing and crack my head. But man, so stinking cool to look at this. Maybe this is a shower facility here? I don't know. This is all part of getting out and exploring and kind of learning the history. So maybe we'll go back and do some research and match up what we see with what we don't know. Maybe try and learn a little bit from this. But yeah, it's a little bit from the Italian work camp. All right, well, there you go. There was a little bit from the Italian work camp right here in the Obersalzberg. Probably a pretty short video, and in the big scope of things, maybe not the most, earth-shattering historical site, but it's a small piece of a larger picture. Whenever you collect these small pieces, well, you assemble them with the big pieces, and it helps you understand all of the history just that much more. But anyway, we're off to the next place.